Hello again, friends. It's that time again to see how much money you guys have been spending on football shirts. I've changed it slightly this time, is that previously I've just been looking within the UK for auctions. I've sort of expanded the horizons and we're now looking at a worldwide view on auctions. We'll see if that changes anything. We'll see if the shirts and the teams are a little bit different. And it has actually meant that the average price has risen. Some of the top end ones are quite pricey. Though there is quite a common theme, certainly this week, with regards to some of the teams that have been sold. As always, I cannot confirm or deny if any of these are fake or real. Some of them do look a little bit weird, and I personally wouldn't be spending this sort of money when it comes to eBay. I'd be looking for something a little bit more official, just to be sure. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some great shirts to be buying from eBay. So, with all that being said, let's jump into it and see what shirts have been bought this week. So in 10th place we have Montpellier, and this is a match-worn shirt by Delort, and the primary reason why this shirt sold for a little bit more than maybe it could have done was because it was paired with a charitable organisation. So this one was focusing primarily on cystic fibrosis, and that all of the sort of funds raised from this sale were going to help children who sort of suffer from this. And that usually means the price goes up a little bit more because it's connected with such a good cause. Now, this is the last season's home shirt, and obviously it's Montpellier, so they're not too afraid from sort of covering it in sponsors. Another one that I own has quite a few of them on the front. And this got quite a bit of attention, 40 bids, and ended up selling for £559 and 6 pence. So we're already starting above 500. So let's see where it takes us. Next up we have this Manchester City Special Champions Edition from last season. It's a home player issue. And the story behind this one was apparently whilst they were celebrating lifting the trophy, they were all given this sort of shirt which had the gold sponsors on the sleeves and on the front. And it was only ever given to the players, and I think it said the staff. Not available commercially to anybody else, such as fans. Now, as always, it goes by, like, this guy who's selling it knows a guy who works at the club and for whatever reason was giving it or selling it to him, and then he can then resell it. So I think I personally, if I worked at the club, I'd probably want to keep this because it's quite a special piece, but, you know, that's just me. So, obviously, would have been a great option for Manchester City fans, 23 bids, and it ended up selling for £577.45. So, if this is legit, then I think that's a pretty good collection piece if you're a Manchester City fan. Next is actually quite a nice shirt. So, it's Liverpool 1986 white away shirt, original size large, killer rare. Don't know why you had to use the word killer, but I'm sure that garnered a few extra pounds. And it's actually really good condition. It's like a classic. Everyone knows the Crown Paints Liverpool shirts. I think I probably prefer this over the home. And in the description, he was sort of just showing that he is legit. He actually linked a Sky Sports article, which was about a Liverpool superfan, which had all of his shirts sort of laid out everywhere, just showing that he is who he says he is. And he says, unfortunately, he's having to sell some of his shirts due to losing his job due to the pandemic, which is obviously really sad. So this was a great opportunity for Liverpool fans or just general vintage shirt collectors to pick up a good condition classic shirt. Ended up with 50 bids, and the final sale price was £580, bang on. So that's not too shabby, I don't think. Next up is the first few lot of Italian shirts that you're going to see. So as you can imagine, Italy are all the rage right now, champions of Euros. Everyone wants to own an Italian shirt. Everyone wants to sell their Italian shirts. And this one was the Nico Barella match prepared shirt versus Austria. And it has all of the features that you would expect, the patches and the little detailed graphic in the front which tells you the match, the date and the teams that are involved. This is not going to be the first and only shirt of this, and some of them look better than others. This one is okay. I think the camera quality compared to the other photographs is not as good, so you can't quite see the detailing. But with the hype, 65 bids occurred, and it ended up selling for £805.97. Next we have Match 1 Manchester United away shirt from 1990-1992. It looks like the photograph was also taken from that time period also. So it is the Manchester United shirt that is actually getting released sort of once again for the upcoming season. Of course, it's with new technology, better materials, and a slightly worse sponsor. And to be honest, I actually do prefer the older one. It's not often I prefer a vintage over a sort of a contemporary, but this is one of those occasions. And I know this shirt sort of holds a special place in a lot of Manchester United fans' hearts. The description was very basic. It was like, good opportunity for investment. That was it. It's like, oh, okay, well, if you say so. So 26 bids occurred, and this one ended up going above £1,000 and sold for £1,353. Bang on. That is a lot of money, I think. I know that's an iconic shirt, but is that the sort of money we're spending on that now? Ooh. And we are back with Italy once again, and this time it is a Chiesa shirt. So Chiesa, one of the standout players for Italy, totally destroyed England when he played, and when he came off it was quite apparent. This one's against Spain, I presume that's what Spain is in Italian. This was being sold in Italy. And the quality of the photograph is a little bit better. You can see the detailing on the front. The only thing I thought was interesting on this one was that all of the other shirts, when they have the center thing, they have obviously the location, the date, the two teams, and they also had the flags. Whereas this one, it just says semi-final. Now, I don't know if that's just what it was, but I thought it was weird that every other one had the flags and this one didn't. Not saying it's not legit or anything, but that's just an interesting point. Anyway, 39 bids this one, and it ended up going for approximately £1,705.76, which is quite a lot of money for a single shirt. And it's Italy again, and this time it's a little bit of a different flavour. It's actually a goalkeeper, Donnarumma. And of course it was the final because, you know, if you want to go and sell a shirt, why not do it the final? It's interesting because usually goalkeeper shirts don't actually sell for that much because, you know, they're not the most sought after position, and usually the shirts are kind of a little bit understated and less memorable. But this one was Donnarumma, who I think got the player of the tournament. I think he didn't he? Obviously, he played really well and he was the key man in the penalty shootout against England, so it certainly helps. I feel like this one, out of all of them, was probably the worst looking one. Just the way the patches were applied, it's kind of creased up a little bit. I feel like someone's done that themselves, but obviously I can't guarantee that. And this one ended up selling for £1,714.29, which I think is too much money to be spending on a goalkeeper shirt. No disrespect to goalkeepers. This one is an interesting one. So it is a World Cup France 98, Scotland vs Brazil. It's a Paul Lambert match-worn shirt with a certificate of authenticity. So the certificate of authenticity starts off with the following. Thank you for inquiring about the Rivaldo shirt. This is not a Rivaldo shirt. I don't remember Paul Lambert being Rivaldo. And it goes on saying, yes, I do remember playing against Brazil, and I did exchange a shirt with Rivaldo. So the certificate, which is a letter, was from Ipswich Town manager Paul Lambert saying, I do remember having that exchange. And the reason why they're talking about Rivaldo is because this shirt was procured through Rivaldo's cousin, of all people, who must have sold it to this gentleman, and this gentleman's then selling it on. So big up Rivaldo's cousin for selling on Rivaldo's shirts. It got all the detailing. It's quite detailed, the description, so it seems pretty legit to me. And one person felt like it was worth a chance, and they went and spent 2,000 notes on this piece. That's a lot of money to spending on a football shirt. I can only imagine the Rivaldo shirt would sell for more. No disrespect to Paul Lambert, but I think Rivaldo's a little bit of a bigger name. And the runner-up is another Italian shirt, and this time it is again another final game against England, and it's this time Bonucci. Bonucci, of course, one of these sort of standout players again, along with Chiellini in that defence, and it's pretty much the same as the other ones. Same detailing, got the patches everywhere, good quality photograph, and I suppose it helps that the shirt is actually really nice. I do quite like the Italian shirt, and this time it ended up selling for £2,285.72. So, you know, it's quite a lot of money. I think who would be worth the most for that Italian squad? Maybe Chiellini. There weren't that many stand-up players for Italy. There was just a very good. And in first place, we have a real vintage, classic football shirt. Match 1, Johan Cruyff. 72-73 Ajax shirt with a certificate proving it's all legit. So the certificate is kind of a bit vague. It starts talking about this is the player's son's mate who once played with Cruyff some point during the career, and it says, yes, I remember that. Great, okay, then that's official then. And then the shirt itself, I mean, I'm not a vintage shirt guy. I'm definitely not a vintage shirt guy from 72-73, but it looks old. And the photographs are pretty convincing. If I was to get a vintage shirt, it would be, this is what I'd go for. I'd really go old. I'd go for the classics. I'd go for players like this, Maradona, Pele, Peter Osgood. You know, these are the sort of shirts that I'd go for. But a little bit out of my price range this time. Just out of my price range. One person felt like it was worth a risk. They wanted a bit of a history and ended up spending £4,000 bang on a single football shirt. That is a lot of money, that is. Jesus. Is that worth it? I mean, it's one of the best players of all time. You know, it is what it is. If Paul Lambert's worth 2,000, I think Johan Cruyff's worth 4. But that's it, really. That is the list. That is this week. Hopefully next week there's not as many Italian shirts, because surely at some point every match-worn prepared issue shirt will have been sold. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching these videos. Let me know which were the shirts that you think were the best and you'd maybe go for. Let me know which you think somebody got ripped off of. And do you think if any of these are suspect in nature? As for the videos coming up this week, it's actually part of a bigger unboxing. I split it into 2 videos, which I hope you don't mind, but it's some really cool, unique and rare shirts. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you all have a great week ahead, and I'll see you in the next videos. Goodbye.